Orleans. We've already had some awesome games today, but now we've got the new look Renegades taking on a couple of upstarts in Lux Gaming. Of course, Onset and Bravo are going to be bringing you the action for the first time since the Halo World Championships Grand Finals.
It's good to be back, my friend. Very good to see you here. Good to be back in the booth, folks. A special treat here for you. Really excited to see the Renegades roster, of course, a brand new team. Mikwen, not a player who we know to be changing teams or even rosters terribly often. So to have him here with a new team, I think it says a lot, right? Any tournament that Mikwen shows up to with a certain team when there's been a change, it means he has a lot of confidence in the players he's with.
Yeah, as soon as I saw this Renegades lineup put down on paper, I was really excited by it. When you look at a team on paper, you're looking for balance, you're looking for different types of player. And that's exactly what I feel we have on this lineup. You know, you have the young up-and-comer, that individual monster that is Neptune. And then you have Mikwen, like you mentioned, so good at picking up those slays. Then you have the aggression of APG. And then you have that all-rounded player in Penguin as well. A really good-looking team on paper. And I know you caught up with Mikwen beforehand.
Yeah, I got to talk to Mikwen. I think you guys are going to see a little bit of that later on in the show. But Mikwen is so excited about teaming with Neptune. The enthusiasm that he has for Neptune as a teammate, as a Halo player, really exciting. I mean, also Neptune's such a young kid. He's got a huge Halo career ahead of him. Can't wait to see where that comes out. But on the other side of the stage, we have the guys here on board, Valkyrie, Talik, and Super CC. Excited to see what they're going to be able to do here as well.
Yeah, most definitely. These guys have been performing pretty well online in the lead up to this event here. And yeah, I mentioned that they're the upstarts. You know, these are the players that have made it into the groups. These are the players that are breaking out a little bit. And it's always exciting to see those new names coming to the fore. And hopefully they might be able to put their names on the map a little bit here in New Orleans. But this is your series layout for this best of 5. As you can see, we're going to be starting off with Capture the Flag on Coliseum. Coliseum? We don't have a new map called Coliseum. The second map is a new map though, and that's called Refuge. That's going to be Slayer. Then we move on to Strongholds Plaza. Then we're going to see Oddball for the first time in this series on Fissure, and then we're moving over to the rig for Slayer if required. Interesting to see a couple of new game types, a couple of new maps in there, Andy.
Absolutely exciting to see that, especially that game 2. Of course, everyone knows how Sank plays. You guys have already seen it on the broadcast a few times here today, and excited to see another round of it. And talking with a lot of the players, the general consensus is that Sank plays like Sank. Refuge plays like the early iterations. Granted, there's a lot of little nuanced differences that we're going to be breaking down throughout these matches that I'm excited to watch how these teams approach it. Things like positioning, not really as important as it was in Halo 2, right? A lot because of mobility and everything like that, but slaying, more important than ever on that map. Let's get ready for game number 1.
Yeah, talking about some classic Halo 5, what better way to start off a series than Capture the Flag on Coliseum, a game type which has given us some glorious moments throughout the years here on Halo 5. But as you might well know by now, 3 captures to win. Keep an eye out for the rocket launcher and that sniper. And last time I saw Mikwen, like Lottie was mentioning on the desk, this guy was going off with it. But Neptune's, I think that he might have something to say about who's going to be holding that weapon to start off with as well.
Yeah, really excited to see what kind of statement Neptune can make. Now, granted, he's already proved himself as such a talented player in Halo 5, but there's a reason that, that he has found these 3 teammates and that he's on this team. Excited to see what he's going to be able to pull out this weekend.
See some early kills being traded across the board, as you would expect on an opening strategy here, and it looks like at the moment Renegades are actually on the back foot, but a nice stick coming in from Super CC, and that's one player that I do want to keep a little bit of an eye on. He's one of those players that I see on Twitter a lot, pulling off some incredible clips, pulling off those multi-kills, and I feel like he's the kind of player that could have one of those breakout events here. But Valkyrie is going to be picking up a nice double here, and it's actually the guys from Lux Gaming that are on the front foot.
Oh boy, and take a look at this right now. Neptune actually has a snipe. He's going to pick up both of the kills from Neptune, sniper in hand. He stops that flag, but gets a triple as well. Neptune off to a great start. That's what we want to see from this young kid.
Yeah, forget about Mikwen. It's the Neptune show right now. He's got the sniper rifle in his hands, and as you say, putting it to use to start off with. Triple kill for him, creating an opportunity for Renegades now to push on the base. Has 2 players in front of him though. He's going to have to back down for this battle.
I mean, you have to think that, Mikwen, as I said, so excited about teaming with Neptune. Those are the plays they picked him up for, right? There's a flag being ran, and he's able to get a triple kill and control of the enemy base. Really great start for him here.
Yeah, great survivability as well. He's going to have an easy kill there. Great work from his team to help him out in that situation. Now he backs down that player with a body shot. 2 dead, 1 player with no shields. Penguin escaping with the flag as well. And this team is rolling at the moment. Everyone doing their role like they should, and this should be the first cap on the board here for Renegades.
Hasn't even been shot there. You see he's going to pop right up. Stealth capture. Didn't even get shot once there. His shields are still recharging from that initial battle back at the base. So they're going to go up 1-0 here, and it looks pretty comfortable for Renegades. A pretty chaotic first minute, as you might expect, but Renegades, the quality of this team, what you expect from them is once things settle down, they're really going to start to steamroll.
Yeah, you kind of expected Onboard to make more of that battle, to be honest with you. You know, Penguin hit the beat down, but he had to fire 4 shots before he cleaned it up. And if you gotta go up against a team here like Renegades, you gotta be winning those individual battles, or at least making it more difficult for Penguin. You see Mikwin now picking up the second set of rockets here. Already used one, so only has one more to work with. But power weapons in the hands of this man, you know he's gonna put it to use. Pull it out there. Looks like the kill with a pistol, and now he's going to be shadowing his teammate back. Should pick up this kill here.
Look at that. Great trigger discipline. Does not pull the flag on, pull the rocket, excuse me, on that cave player. Instead, pulls the rocket on the fountain. And look at that. Now a killing spree from APG allows them to bring this back. So really great opponent selection there from Mikwin as they bring that back. They're going to go up here 2-0.
Yeah, 2-0 now. APG doing what APG does, and that is usually a lot of work without the power weapons. We talk about some of these players who pull off the flashy plays, the likes of Mikwin, Neptune. APG gets it done without those weapons a lot of the time, and he's such an invaluable player. Sometimes we don't see him in the, the highlight clips, but look at what he's doing right now. He's making every single right decision, pushing in towards that base as his teammates are trying to lock down this sniper rifle.
Sniper's coming up as well. I think we just saw Mikwin, yes indeed, grab that. You saw the Austin service tag pick up that sniper rifle, so after we saw a great show earlier from Neptune, now it's Mikwin's turn to try to close out the game. By the way, checking in the slaying department, right now Renegades outslaying Lux Gaming. Snapshot there from Mikwin with a score of a 32-17, so very, very handily controlling the Slayer department.
Love what I'm seeing here from his teammates as well. You can see Mikwin set up here, doesn't have to come under any pressure when he's firing these shots, and that's all down to his teammates pushing up on the map. And now you're going to see him finally come under a little bit of pressure, but it doesn't matter because Mikwin can hit those shots.
Jeez, and what a dangerous team here, of course. Like we said, they were talking about it on the desk earlier about Mikwin picking up the sniper rifle on Sank. We've seen now both Neptune and Mikwin start to really lay down some great control with that sniper rifle. A lot of talent across the whole side of the stage for Renegades. And from Lux Gaming, we haven't seen a whole lot of life from them in this CTF. They're kind of just holding on in their base right now.
Yeah, they are, but they have managed to get hold of a sniper rifle. So there is the opportunity potentially here to maybe pick up a couple of kills. There's a battle here between Valkyrie and Penguin. Penguin won it last time, and this time Valkyrie is going to take down Penguin. So first step, get map control. That win from Valkyrie there is going to do that. Neptune gets the rockets, doesn't put them to use, and that's good plays here coming in from Lux.
I was going to say Valkyrie, very good plays. Not only does he win the battle in Fountain against Penguin, which is not an easy battle to win. Penguin's a player who will double back on you from Fountain and will win that even at a disadvantageous position, but he's also able to kind of stay up top and get away from the walls and the splash damage that Neptune was looking for with those rockets, able to waste both those rockets. So here they are, we're 5 minutes into the match, and right now showing a little bit of signs of life, but they're just still trying to push out of their base. But if they're able to, a few more rallies like that, they might be able to put some time on the board. Look at this, still 7 minutes left in the game.
Yeah, it's 7 minutes left in the game, but all the time we are going on to their POVs here on Lux Gaming. They're playing defense, and you can see Mikwin now with the push. Look at the push coming in from Renegades here. You see Mikwin picking the flag up, was taken down, but you saw his 2 or 3 teammates who were still alive, still aggressively pushing, looking to get those cutoffs, looking to put pressure on the respawners so that he could have got away with that flag. But Neptune going to be taken down there. Big win for Valkyrie. However, good teamwork. Mikwin comes in, immediately trades out the kill.
Curious if we're going to see Mikwin still try to run this. A double kill, of course, gives him the opportunity to do so, as I believe they do have a one-man advantage still, but there's a lot of pressure. Penguin's going to help with that. I think they're going to be able to bring this back in, unless there's some strong Fountain pressure.
You see both players working together. Mikwin gets that one round the corner. That's going to be the game, and it's going to be 3-0. 2 Renegades here on Coliseum capture the flag to start things off. Good solid performance from them.
It is. It looks too easy for them off of that performance. By the way, 55-33, they outslay their opponents there. Mikwin going 17-7.
Yeah, Mikwin 17-7, a positive 10 to start things off. But the thing that impressed me most about that Renegades performance is we talked about on paper. We always talk about on paper, these players, what do they do? What do they bring to the table? It seemed like every single cog in that Renegades machine was working perfectly, doing their role exactly. As we have a look at the Carnage report.
Look at this. Also, you love to see it so symmetrical, right? You see the players up top with the most kills, racking only up a few assists, but Penguin and Neptune there, 12 and 13 assists respectively. Really good support from them. In talking to Mikwin earlier today, I just got a chance to sit with him. He's talking about how he wants to be able to be that Slayer. He wants to see the whole field. He wants to pick up the kills. He wants to be able to really pick and choose his battles. He doesn't want to have to be really the first aggressor, and that's what he was doing for a while on the different rosters he was with Halo 5. And APG now can be that player. Anyone who's been watching APG for a while knows when you're playing a game like Halo 3, a game like Reach, and now a game like Halo 5 against APG, he is flying at you. He is in your face, he is aggressive, and he's going to destroy you, right, and win those battles, even if he's a shot down. That lets Mikwin sit back and do exactly that and pick up a game where he goes 17-7.
Both of these players make each other better.
Yes.
That's how I look at it. You're looking at Mikwin, and he's going to be looking over the shoulder of APG. He can sit back and add that extra shot that when APG's challenging that battle to help him out and help him win that battle. And on the same thing, as you say, the smoke screen for Mikwen is going to be APG and Penguin. So everything seems to be working at the moment in that game number 1, but now we move on to our game number 2. We're going over to Refuge now for some Slayer action. Oh, I'm excited to see some dual snipers.
Oh, me too. I'm excited. Especially, I'm curious. There's a very good chance with how well Renegades played that, especially in terms of slaying, that we could see some dual sniper control from Renegades, which is so difficult to play against. But I'll also say it's also quite difficult to manage, you know, from an offensive standpoint. So I'm very curious how they're going to play around these 2 sniper rifles. Expect them to look to control both, and if they do, really rack up as many kills as they can during that control, right? You don't necessarily need to control it the whole game, but make sure you're getting 2, 3, 4 kills out of each sniper rifle, bare minimum, so that you can really increase your lead.
Yeah, I think if we're talking about keys to victory like we like to do, sometimes I think if you're looking at Lux Gaming, you got to stop that happening. If you've got a sniper in your hands and you see a couple of your teammates die, you need to keep that weapon back down. Do not over-challenge. You're going to be coming under pressure, but if you can delay your death by even 2, 3, 4 seconds, allow a teammate to come off of respawn, you're going to have a much better chance of surviving and keeping that weapon out of the hands of the likes of Mikwen and Neptune.
And in previous iterations, right, if you look at Sanctuary from Halo 2, also H2A, and in some ways Reach, it was a lot easier to slow down gameplay on this map. So when your opponent got a sniper rifle, or heaven forbid 2 sniper rifles, you could really slow the game down. But however, in this game with the speed of Halo 5, it's going to be a lot more difficult to do that. Expect teams to really be flanking, right? They're going to start spawn trapping, and they're going to be immediately flanking that spawn trap. That's what we're going to see from Renegades. So look for Renegades. I'd expect, even when you have Lux trying to slow this game down, look for Renegades to keep the pace up.
That's what they're going to be trying to do, and they're going to be trying to go up 2-0 in the series as well. You can see that rocket launcher bottom mid as well. A couple of shots in that to be used by either of the teams if they can get hold of it. But I just want to talk a little bit. Thank you to Pine Jones, by the way, because this map, we've talked about how it plays, but aesthetically, it looks incredible.
It looks great, and talking to players, right, it feels like Sank, which is so important. And here we are kicking off the game number 2. It's going to be Renegades versus Lux Gaming.
And surprise, surprise, look who's going for that sniper rifle. It's Mikwen who's going to pick it up early on. Austin, who hit some crazy shots back at 2018 World Finals when he was on that reciprocity lineup. Now he's set up on ring 3. Body's one player. See another player falling towards the P shot as well. And Neptune there, we've talked about how different players are working together. Neptune being that smoke shield again, and look at Mikwen, he's just laying down shots for his teammate. Great coordination and teamwork early on here from Renegades.
I talked to so many teams yesterday. The most important thing on this map, look, he has already enemies spawning behind him there, so Super CC will actually get that, and they're gonna get 5 kills on the board very quickly. So even though we saw early ring control from Mikwen, they're down by 2 here.
And look at the push coming in here from Lux. I love this because they noticed that that sniper rifle was down on the blue flag.
There's 2 now.
However, that's now dropped, and they didn't manage to maybe convert that advantage that they had.
Look at both sniper rifles sitting. I think we just saw one despawn, so we're only 1 in play right now with 2 shots left, and now tied up to 7-7. So a pretty chaotic start, and even though we saw Mikwen up on ring 3 very comfortably, here they are tied with their opponents. But as I was saying on set, ring 3 so important. It's the easiest it has ever been to get up to. However, it's also the most difficult to continue controlling. So very interesting dynamic there.
Yeah, Mikwen putting that last bullet to use there, picking up a headshot. The last player alive. If they can clean him up quickly, they might have the opportunity to turn around. A nice nade from Mikwen is going to do that. And when I say turn around, I mean find these new spawners coming in, and look at this. That's 2 dropping. That's going to be another player dropping. Great push here from Renegades. Now they have the all-important spawn control. If they can locate a spawn here, they can rack up 4, 5 kills without response.
It's a good trade there from Envor to make sure he gets that stick into ring 2. When you have a game like this where you're only down by about 5, make that 6 because Mikwen's hitting the fadeaway jumpers all the way to under turret, and now they're up by 7, so you got to make sure as the rockets are coming up at 10 seconds that they're not giving up these free deaths, because Renegades right now wants to pull away and they want to do it fast.
Yeah, they've done exactly what I said they do as well. Look at the kill differential in that little period of play that we talked about. They managed to get 3 dead, 4 dead, and now we're seeing a 7-kill lead between the 2 players. Not only that, see APG managing to get away with the rockets, not use them, but great work from Penguin to come in and recycle those weapons, keep them in the hands of his team, and now he can probably pick up another kill. Slightly fortunate though.
Yeah, I don't know if he was necessarily going for that bonfire door kill, but he picks it up regardless here. As we look at Lux Gaming now on their side, they're down 14-22. So those last few deaths on set, I have to point out, pivotal timing, right? Because 3 of them died right before the rockets popped up, and you want to do whatever you can to avoid dying right in those really 15 seconds before the weapon's coming up, because you're going to give away those free rockets in the end. It helps Renegades extend their lead.
see a Valkyrie jumping into ring here. I'm interested to see if he has some help from a teammate here. Does miss the beatdown. Luckily doesn't get embarrassed too much, but Penguin and Neptune pick up a couple of kills here for Renegade just to keep that kill lead. And one thing that's always risky is when you're not sure how many players in ring is going to that jump up, jumping into ring and kind of hoping for the best.
You never know what you're going to see. When you turn that corner on, say you're hoping someone just passed by the wall and you can get a quick back whack and then maybe dip out. Really, you just want to catch your opponents off guard when you fly into ring, and also hope that you have some help from teammates. Lux Gaming now here down by 10 at this moment in the game, but you see ring is just as popular as it has ever been. Everyone wants to be in this ring console. That is the #1 power position as Mikwin doubles back there on Talik.
Now it's Penguin's turn. We talked about Mikwin quite a lot so far. We've talked about Neptune with that weapon. Penguin as well. You know, he knows how to use this weapon, and now we're going to see a little bit of a sniper battle potentially here. Penguin does actually pick up a headshot. But you see, this is going to be the battle for rockets at the moment. It looks like Lux Gaming currently have control of the ring. In 20 seconds, those rockets are coming up. It's all about who's going to hit this headshot, and a nice shot from Super CC. Getting taken down immediately. That's ring control now, going over to Lux Gaming, and they should, if they can continue to keep the pressure on, pick up these rockets.
Penguin's on the opposite wall sheet, by the way. He's sitting there waiting to see if he can get an angle. So we're going to have to see. Here he is right now on your screen, sitting on that carbine, sitting around that wall sheet corner, trying to find a pick really on the sniper, and there it is. He's going to find Super CC first. You have to imagine his teammates are going to clean that up.
Penguin narrowly missing the shots, but Mikwin doing everything, and now Penguin's hitting some shots. Last player alive is going to be running for his life, and look at Renegades. They're chasing him down with rockets, with sniper rifle. I felt a little bit sorry for Super CC there.
Yeah, you have to. He was, there's no way he was getting out of that alive. Penguin picks up the rockets from Neptune as well as he flies in now 39-25. Just like we said, Renegades wants to play this game type quick. There's no reason for them to play this slow, especially with all the skill and talent they have. Now it's APG's turn with the sniper rifle.
Let's see what he can do then. Only playing the carbine side. You can see he's looking for respawners over by the rock side. Knows his team have just picked up a couple of kills. Looking for another player here who's going to be just under turret. Misses that shot narrowly, but some nice pistol shots from APG are going to bring this game even closer to its conclusion. Just 5 kills now to go for Renegades.
And look at APG using the shoddy block to avoid any grenades. Pops up into the hut as his shields recharge, and he comes back down to check the court and tunnel once again. Great control of his player there to take no damage from those 2 grenades.
Yeah, and aggression again coming in from APG. That's what you'll see when he's playing at his best. Picks up 1 kill, immediately turns around. Isn't afraid to run into players because he knows with his teammates that he's has here on this Renegades lineup that they're always going to be looking for him, always going to be having his back. And now it's just a couple of kills to go. Penguin's going to find one. Who's going to be picking up the last kill here? It's going to be APG, the man of the moment, who picks up the final kill with a grenade.
50-27 stake dinner there on Sank. So you have to think the veterans on this side of the stage, if you look at Mikwin and APG, right? It's good to be home. It's good to be back on Sanctuary. You can tell that they feel very comfortable on that map. And man, players flying in and out of ring the whole game. But in the end, Renegades really locking down that portion of the map, even though you saw off the break, right? It's a 5-3 lead for Lux, then we go to 7-7. But what I love is, right, Renegades is not going to panic. They're going to play their game, and in the end, it's a 50-27 victory.
Yeah, big victory, big margins, and a difficult lesson to be learned, to be honest, with you on how to play Refuge there for the guys on Lux Gaming. But as you say, the veterans, they've been playing that game side for a long time. They know most of the nuances of that one. But great control from the guys on Renegades again. Those sniper rifles, those rockets, we're going to talk about it a lot through the weekend, because when we get into that winners bracket, when we get towards those grand finals, that's what's going to win those games.
And take a look at this once again. It's Mikwin shining. Here we go, 14-6. He leads the game in kills and deaths once again. And who else but Neptune to also lead the game in assists there, tied with his teammate APG. So exactly as Mikwin kind of prescribed this strategy, that's exactly how this has played out in 2 out of 2 games.
Yeah, a little bit of a rough one there for Valkyrie on the other side of things, just 4 kills for him. But you know, if you ain't got a sniper rifle on your team, if you ain't got the rocket launcher, sometimes you can be that unfortunate player that comes off respawns.
That's true.
And finds a bullet between your brain before you know anything about it. So not reading too much into that one as far as the game is concerned and that individual performance. But I mean, let's talk a little bit more about Renegades, because they're just 1 game from closing out this series 3-0. But it just looks like everything they wanted to come from this team has come in this series.
Yeah, and I'd be very curious to hear from these guys after the match, specifically if they do win this 3-0, or regardless of how the series goes with these first 2 games. There's different levels of 3-0s. You and I have talked about this before in the booth, right? Coming into tournaments, if you're able to win a series 3-0, sometimes that could be a great 3-0 win where you go on feeling great, or there can be even just a few things that you've picked out where the 3-0 actually doesn't feel as good as it might look on screen or on paper. So right now, I think they're playing pretty well, but I'd be very curious because if you look at Make1 and APG, these are players that are hard on themselves, and they'd be very upfront and say, maybe even though we won this 3-0, even though we won this 50-27, there are a few things that we know we need to do better for later on in the bracket.
Hey, that's what the best players in the world, they got to do. They've got to always be striving to improve, always striving to get better until you pick up that trophy at the end of a tournament. That's what it's all about for these players, and it wouldn't surprise me. You've just seen the scores there, 3-0, 50-27. If you'd given that before the start of the series, you'd bite someone's hand off for it. But, as you say, always looking to constantly improve, and one way they can do that is by closing out this series 3-0 as we move back to one of the staples of Halo 5. We're having some more Stronghold action here. We're going over to Plaza, of course. The camouflage is going to be up every 2 minutes at top middle as well. But the question for me is, can Renegades close this one out 3-0?
All right, now taking a look, of course, keep an eyes on camo here. Onset, you know, if you're looking at the guys on Renegades, you have to imagine they're also going to be real solid on this game type as well with how they've played everything. But APG is going to grab that camo. Taking a look at the exact camo time, that's going to be at 49. So do look at for the camo. Once again, 2 minutes going to pop back up at 9:49.
A couple of players on his radar here, you can see above him as well. So APG just choosing to play this one nice and slow. You can see not too much stronghold pressure coming in from either team at the moment. And that's because neither team have really picked up a significant enough amount of slays to maybe try and convert that. Now you see Penguin pick up a kill. You see APG pick up another one. Now that stronghold conversion is coming in. Fantastic timing on everything there coming in from the guys on Renegades.
We talked about how APG is that aggressor. He is your first man in. He's going to fly in. He may get the first shot or he may not, but he's going to win that first battle. Now you have a nightmare scenario when you have your best aggressor running in with camo. It guarantees him either first shot or an easy cleanup kill like that on S4, and he pre-nades the ramp, challenges glass, is able to get his team control early. Great stuff from APG. That's what you expect from him.
This is a good push coming in, though, from Lux Gaming. I have to give them the credit here. You know, they got the first kill in that team fight that we talk about a lot. They managed to pick up the second, and now they've picked up a third. This should be an easy conversion of the nest here, but not only that, look at the pressure coming in on bottom mid. It was a 1v1 bottom mid there. Neptune won it. That could have been a big kill swing and a big point swing if they managed to get that kill.
It's a big double kill there down there from Neptune. Whenever you see a last player alive there, it looks like Penguin's going to get the better of Valkyrie as we see there. But these two teams really close in the slaying department. Actually, for the first time that we've seen it, we do see Lux Gaming out-slaying Renegades 12-10 right now.
What they need to do, they need to keep up the slays. We know how much power these guys have on, but a beautiful flank coming in bottom mid here from APG, but Lux Gaming, again, keeping the pressure on. Now it's about staying in that stronghold, but the reset's going to come in here. Two players from Renegades fall to bottom middle. That should be an easy protection of that bottom mid stronghold.
Yeah, look at this now. So even though they're being outslayed, somehow Renegades still now leading in this game. Kind of points to how much these guys have played this game type, right? How exactly they know where they need to be. And even if they're not winning in the slaying department, which is new territory for them in this series, they're still up top. And look at that APG camo grab as well. That's going to be his second consecutive camo grab. And then taking a look at that time, he's able to grab it right at 47. Only 2 seconds late. You know they had that time coming in from Coach Hoaxer, and now they're going to continue their lead.
Yeah, you can see this player's going to be toasted as well, bottom mid. Mikwin cleans that one up. Great play here from APG as well, just doing so much damage around the map. Yes, he might not be picking up all the kills, but he's putting himself in perfect positions for his teammates to do so. Now he pushes in. If he can clean this up, it'll be huge, but I like his play. That congestion is forcing all of those players from Lux Gaming to come back to yard and having to work even harder just to stop the triple.
Right, and that's what APG does. Look at this. It's still, by the way, and now Renegades finally is outslaying their opponents, but only by 1. 20 kills to Lux's 19 kills here. But still, look at the scoreboard. I mean, it just really shows. Oh my heavens. Fantastic shots from Penguin there as he's falling off S4. They're still leading here 44-7.
Yeah, sorry, Talek. That one was caught on stream, I'm afraid. You got to hit those shots, my friend, because Penguin isn't missing at the moment. Ball gets taken down as well, and look at the score. We're talking about slays. It's all about converting those slays into points. And at the moment, the guys from Renegades are doing a great job of that. They've just hit the 50-point mark. They haven't looked out of control of this map for barely a second, to be honest with you. Everything rolling their way.
I got to point out a fantastic stat. For this entire game, APG has had more assists than anyone has had kills, as Mikwin just picks up that triple. APG has had more assists than anyone has had kills for the entire match. At this rate, he could end the game with more assists than anyone else having kills. Onmore actually leading the game right now with 9 kills. Mikwin actually just picked up his 10, so he'll take the first place spot.
Let's see what Lux Gaming are made of here then. series is on the line for them at the moment. They are down 2-0, as you can see at the top of the screen. Shotgun not going to be effective enough to take down that player as well. Now Lux Gaming still under pressure, and you have to give so much credit here to the likes of APG and his teammates, because they're just stifling Lux Gaming. They can't even get out of spawn, let alone contest one of these strongholds. Great job from the guys on Renegades. You can't praise them enough for how they're playing this.
You really can. Miquin now picked up his 11th kill. He's 11-7 in this game. Neptune on Renegades is actually going to get the 3rd camo of the game after APG did get those first 2. That means 3 consecutive camo grabs here for Renegades. That, of course, has contributed greatly to their massive lead in this game. And despite the fact that these two teams were close in the slaying department, it shows that Renegades knows which kills they can give up, as it's a triple kill with the camo for Neptune, flying in for the 4th kill as well, trying to at least get the exterm. Finally, he'll turn and pick that up. There's a killing spree for him.
Yeah, no emotion on his face as well. Business as usual for that young man. You knew he was contesting that triple kill as soon as it happens. Picks up the back smack as well. I'm sorry, Lux, but this one looks like it's done. You can stick a fork in them. They look like they're done. Neptune and Renegades with a triple cap in effect and the camouflage. This looks like it's going to be a 3-0 to Renegades.
This got out of hand so quick here. Keep in mind, we were just tied in terms of slaying. Now they're up 45-30, only a few points away from closing it out right now. A killing spree for APG as well.
That's going to do it here. Renegades looking good in our first time seeing them here in New Orleans. An easy 3-0 victory for them. The new look lineup are looking absolutely awesome.
Wait till you see APG's stats from this game when we pull that up in a second. I'm going to reference those again in just a minute, but like you said, very strong performance from Renegades. A slow start from them on game number 3, but they end up outslaying their opponents by 17 and winning the game by a huge margin there. I believe 100 to 7 is the final score there. But look at APG.
Wow.
9, 16, and 4 more assists than anyone else even has kills.
Perfect. That's if APG produces that every single time that the guys here on Renegades play, they will win series after series after series. That is his job. That's what he does best, and his teammates are allowing him to do that.
And you know what that stat screams? That stat screams, I am shooting everything, and I'm shooting everyone. And that yard example was that's a great example, right? Earlier we saw him with the camo at S4. He cleans up an S4 kill. He cleans up a glass kill. There's the other side of APG, who's going to fly into yard with camo. He's going to get 3 players weak, and even though he dies, players are trapped in yard, and then Renegades has the option to push if they want, right? They can push glass, right? They can go ahead and push from Cafe. They can clean up the kills, or they can leave those players there. And if APG continues that, we're going to see a really good run from Renegades this tournament.
Yeah, another thing to touch on there is such low deaths in that stat line. Did pick up a lot of kills, was shooting everything, but the low deaths shows survivability as well. It shows that not only is he getting into engagements, that he's surviving those engagements as well. And that's not only credit to him and his positioning, but his teammates looking over him.
If you can get 4 times the amount of assists as you do deaths in a game, that's a crazy stat line. An aggressive player like APG only getting 4 deaths in a Plaza Strongholds is absurd. I love the way Renegades are playing. Excited to see more from them.
Well, that's going to do it all from us. Of course, Renegades are looking good at the moment, but it's back to you guys on the desk. LVP, take it from here.
Thank you so much, Onset and Brav. Welcome to Strong Side. You're now joining me on my left-hand side. Welcome to the desk. What's up? How's it going?
It's good to be here. Good to be here. This is a nice desk you have here.
It is, isn't it?
Good to see you up here.
Good to see you too, Side. Good to see you. Well, the lads actually said it was going to be another 3-0, and guess what? The curse is real. It's happening. Side, watching that game, was that a prediction for you as well?
Definitely a prediction. You look at this Renegade squad, I mean, they're coming in hot. They're coming in fierce because, I mean, these are players that they've been wanting to assemble a squad to win. And, you know, teams have changed up quite a bit. And, you know, I don't want to say this is like the ragtag team or anything like that, but, I mean, these are guys that are probably pissed off that they're not with some of their old teammates or anything, so they're putting together this squad and they want to bring home the win.
I completely agree. I think this is a very underrated squad. These are all players that never really get the recognition they deserve, and I'm going to start off by saying we haven't talked about Neptune today, and he's might be the best player on this team. I mean, he's so young, and he's had a couple of events this past year that have enabled him to get some experience, get his feet on the ground, and now we can start to see him run. I'm really excited to watch him specifically on this team because you see these 3 veterans in Penguin, Miquin, and APG. I mean, they're teaming with him for a reason. They see something in him, and we see very small glimpses of how good he can be. And I think this tournament might be the tournament we really see him start to shine.
Well, fellas, let's break down what we have already seen. Let's go to game number 1. It was capture the flag on Coliseum. Now, Neptune and Mikwin played very well on this game. Side, what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, Neptune, you give this man a sniper, and you're just going to see him pull off insane plays. Penguin, he's been a guy, he's always just focused on getting the job done. He'll do the objective. He'll be that guy to start that flag run, to initiate that flag, get it back to the base, and he doesn't care if he gets that cap. He just wants to bring home the W. And I think with this combination of players, you're seeing a little bit of each player kind of do everything. Mikwin, always a guy with a sniper. You're going to see him do some magic. So putting him and Neptune on the same team, I mean, it's going to look lethal if you're going to be one of the other top teams going up against them.
You know, it's also one of my favorite maps. I absolutely love Coliseum. It's probably my favorite map to play when I do play. I'm not saying I'm the best.
Do you go for the sniper? Who goes for the sniper?
Obviously. I'm like the dream team. I'm on the snipe. Obviously, I'm bringing home all the glorious shots. Of course, that's kind of my role.
I would not expect anything less.
Yeah, obviously, of course. You're talking to LVP here. Look, I'm turning into Golden Boy already. Oh my goodness, I need to settle down. Gents, let's have a look at map 2. It was Slayer on Refuge. Now, Mikwin was also giving me a couple of the feels because I did see a few snipe shots here. Clutch, did he bring it to the table for you?
Yeah, just like I promised you, Adi, we were going to see Mikwin go for the snipe at the start, and he delivered. He got a few kills with it. He ended up going off this game 14 and 6, I believe, 9 assists. Pretty unreal from Mikwin. But I mean, that's kind of what you expect. You expect teams like this Renegade roster to really just take advantage, especially on Slayers with so many power weapons. You're going to see highlights. You're going to see just an overall domination and a steak dinner to top it all off.
I love a steak dinner. I love steak. No, you know, of course, they're a fantastic team, and like you said, 3-0 was going to be on the cards. I think by game number 2, that kind of settled the score for us. I think it was obviously going to happen, and of course, we then went on to map number 3. It was Strongholds on Plaza. Elamite, did this round it off for you? Were you like, right, it's in the bag, it's the 3-0?
I mean, it was in the bag after game 2. I was talking to Wes about this while it was going on. The scoreline in that Refuge TS was 30-21, which means they ended on a 20-6 run to close out that game. And game number 3, they picked up right where they left off, just running away with the game. Mikwin was 14 and 6 in game number 2. He was 14 and 7 here in game number 3, having a monstrous performance. APG, the 16 assists. We've seen that a few times over the years. We were dropping that massive amount. Karma comes to mind. Back in like a Warlock Team Slayer days, 0, 16 and 1 or something like that. These crazy. We're just supporting the powerhouse of his teammates. Mikwin, Neptune, racking up so many kills. APG being able to be there to assist. So the scoreline here, 3-0, kind of like what we predicted. Renegades, this is not a leftover squad here. This is a strong powerhouse squad that can still come out and win. I brought it up earlier, the Snipe Down Mikwin parting ways after so long, kind of like when Snipe Down Pistola parted ways, but they both continue to perform extremely well just on separate rosters. I think that's the same thing we're going to see from Snipe Down and Mikwin now that they've also parted ways.
Clutch, as a former player, a professional player as that, of course, Lux Gaming, we talk about the winners quite a lot. We never really touch upon the losers too much. In terms of their game style, their gameplay, what could they have done better?
It's tough because they're just so out individually skilled against a team like this Renegades roster. I mean, this Lux roster has been together for a very long time, and I love seeing that out of them, and I love that the fact that they've probably been through something very similar to this. They've probably gotten swept before by a better team, and they probably had to bounce back, and because they've been there, it gives them an opportunity to learn from that experience and possibly create something out of this tournament for them. And I'm not saying that they're going to break into the top 4, but there is hope for a top 8 placing from them if they're all going to come out and play better for the rest of this tournament. So it's good that they have some experience with this same roster.
And I think it's also a lot about like the speed that these players play. Like, yeah, they might not have that same individual skill, but it's the speed of being able to keep up the pressure, because you'll see them just get pushed back and pushed back. Like when we see them play on Refuge, they're getting pushed back into their base. They can't escape. They're just stuck all the way back, and they got to be able to put some pressure. They've got to be able to push out.
Talking about keeping up with the pressure, it's always good to see how players feel before they go into a tournament as big as this one. We did see them earlier on, but Bravo got to sit down with the one and only Pip from Atletico. Let's see what he had to say.
Probably had the long